I got much better later after Valhalla, because Valhalla, which is a DLC for Ragnarok, the next part of this game, was a free DLC that was released to really teach the God of War lovers all the aspects of his powers. Everything that he can do with all his weapons and how to use them, the best combination of powers and everything. I didn't know any of that at this point. I had been getting through hard games like God of War just by grinding and seeing what the opponent does, figuring out how to counter them, and after hours of fighting a boss, I would beat them, as you're gonna see in this video now, which makes me, I feel, a really good gamer, because I mean, you can find easier tricks to beat bosses faster, but to grind it out like this for as long as you have to in God of War at least, it's really difficult. And if I knew all the things I knew after playing Valhalla, this would have been maybe slightly easier. But you will see what I mean, that maybe not, because Sigrun is really strong. Let's get it. Let's see, and maybe I'll talk you through it depending on what's happening in the video. Let's see. So start is good, but I rolled into the fire, so you know that's one thing. Ooh, okay, start's not so good, but I think that's it. I don't get hit after that for a long time, and so it was just like, you know, I've probably been playing for a while, and you know my fingers were hurting, so you know to really get your fingers moving initially at the start of a new round. To even think about how long you need to fight Sigrun for and how long you need to dodge, that can be daunting. And that's why at the start of it, you feel a little fatigued, because you know what you're in for. And so fingers start to stiffen up. But then you start opening up as the battle goes on for longer, your adrenaline kicks in, and there you go. And then you see me do what I do. Only I knew all the Valhalla stuff at this point. I've been able to use my powers much better. So this is what I mean. You see how many moves she has? All of this, you need to figure out what prompts her moves. Because if you don't know what these moves are, how will you... This is a perfect parry. Perfect parry is blocked just before it connects. All the red ones you have to dodge. Then you need to know that you have to dodge twice for this particular red move. Right? And this is a block breaker. So it's all different moves to break her different moves. It's impossible to know all of that unless you've fought and died against her a few times. And that's why I feel like unlike other games, which if you're really good at it, you can probably beat any boss third or fourth time. Because you're good at the game, God of War, it doesn't work like that. They'll give the opponent so many moves, and it will happen so quick that you will die a few times before you realize how to dodge them. Like, see that one? I knew it was coming because I've died of it a lot of times, so I know what triggers it. This one kills me a lot too, because you would think there's the other red one where you have to throw your axe. Sometimes you're confused which red one it is, because only so you know that you need to look back when she looks back. But if she starts spinning with a red move, then you need to throw your axe. So these are the things that I'm talking about. You need to figure out by watching your opponent, and that's what makes God of War the hardest game at its hardest difficulty to beat bosses. I think, like, just in terms of if you played a boss for the first time, you would probably consider Sekiro's boss fights harder, but after finishing Sekiro and realizing that there are cheap ways to beat your bosses, which I'm sure are there in God of War 2, so those cheap ways to beat your bosses in Sekiro, they're difficult. I mean, they make you not even have to fight the boss. They're not difficult, the opposite of difficult. Because may seem daunting, but you can beat bosses without even fighting them. Well, that's a glitch in the game. But then, why would you fight a boss that's difficult if there is a way to avoid the fight? You know what I mean? Whereas here, there's practically no way to avoid this fight. And as far as I know, I haven't figured out any easy way to beat the bosses. Ooh, that was a mistake. You may find some people who have beaten Sigrun much faster, but that's because they did it on the New Game Plus mode, where you start the entire storyline with all your powers. So you're way stronger. Of course, they make the villain stronger too, but if you have all your powers, it's not that difficult. So it's when like you're playing the story for real, you're not fully powered up before the game is over. The Sigrun isn't the last Valkyrie. If I remember correctly, the last one, you have to climb a cliff to fight the last one. And her name is... It'll come to me, I'll tell you if I remember. It's like at the tip of my tongue. Ra, oh, so not Ra. Na, N-A, Na is her name, yeah? She's probably the hardest. She has a lot of moves that Sigrun has, and she has more. Some of her own. So Na is a combination of all the moves that all the other Valkyries have. All of them. So if you think Sigrun has a lot of moves, Na is a harder Valkyrie fight. This is the second hardest, if you ask me. Na is the hardest. Some people may find this harder. This is the game where you first fight Valkyries. I don't know if Na you fight in this game or the next one in Ragnarok. But yeah, that was hard. But again, someone found an easy hack against Na, which was to go back down the cliff after activating the fight, and then Na just freezes. When you go back up the cliff and you go behind Na, Na does nothing. You can just keep whacking her till she dies. So some weird hack that someone found. Not for Sigrun though. So if you see people beating Sigrun any faster, they might be on New Game Plus with fully powered up. This is my first attempt at fighting Sigrun via the story mode. First attempt meaning never fought her before, but died many times trying to beat her. This is when I finally beat her. Well, I almost finally beat her. Oh, that was a bad dodge. You also gotta find your openings, when it's safe to attack, when it's safe to run towards. So you see, when she's frozen like that, why am I not attacking her? Because when it unfreezes, that's when her moves suddenly become too fast, because suddenly you're watching her move slowly, and suddenly it unfreezes and she becomes really fast. So being anywhere near her doesn't give you enough time to react to that, to the next move. So I take my distance when it's in slow motion. This is really annoying because the only way to stop her from killing you with that red move is by throwing your axe, and I'm usually not good at shooter games or throwing games or like Marvel Rivals and PC PUBG and anything that allows keyboard and mouse players to play against me. in a shooter. Those games I suck at because I always use controllers. I can't use a keyboard. Boring. This is really important, the perfect parry. Every time you see a yellow attack, just last a second before they hit you, press block, and that really helps damage God of War bosses. In Sekiro, sometimes if you perfect parry most of their moves, the opponents die within like a minute, right? So even though if you didn't perfect parry properly, you would take longer to die, usually die fast. There you go, lapse of concentration. Also, you lost track of where Sigrun was. That happens. So what happens is when you rage, you get a little bit of health back, as you can see, as the rage is on. So but you have to be careful because she can still hurt you during your rage if she gets her move going. And you see, I'm trying to take that health there. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm unable to take that health because it's within her fire. So I'm waiting for it to fire to disappear, but I know that's a distraction that they've put there on purpose because they want me to try and take that health while Sigrun gets a clear shot at me with some. So now I'm trying to go back for the health, but it's gone. So you know, this kind of annoying stuff they'll try to get you to distract you. But you gotta focus. You almost had Sigrun. If I died again, many guys probably wouldn't have this video. At this point, it's ridiculous. I've hit Sigrun so many times. See how much her health is. She should have died, and I'm gonna hit her more. She just won't die. Nothing will be happening to her health. See, barely going down. Nothing. See, all these hits, nothing. But then I'm like, the game's just messing with me. Nothing. See? Nothing. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Atreus beat Sigrun, not Kratos. But yeah. I love all this.
Thank you, friends. You have saved the Valkyries.
Sigrun, how did this happen?
Mimir, is that you? You have been freed, but...
Freedom comes at a price, milady.
You speak truly. Countless winters we serve the All-Father, but only through his union to the Queen did we ever taste some measure of freedom.
But aren't you the queen?
There has only been one Queen of the Valkyries, the goddess Freya. When Odin severed her wings, I served in her absence, but it wasn't enough for the All-Father. He used an archaic piece of magic, corrupting my sisters. I tried to contain the damage by imprisoning them in places where they could cause no harm, but soon I lost myself as well.
Sigrun, I'm sorry for being so worthless. I could have done something, or tried at the very least. What will you do now?
I must reunite with my sisters. Together we can restore balance to the realms. You have the eternal blessings of the Valkyries.
And there you have it. Hopefully this helps
It's difficult to be.
some of you. I just wanted to show you all my settings at the end of the video. That's what I'm doing, what my build was. But again, I didn't know much about all of this. So that's it. See ya all the next video. Peace. Peace from Tupac.